Hi, you're watching Whitetail Video Magazine. I'm Michael Moon. On today's video, we're going to be looking at our summer food plots that we planted. We're going to be looking at Lab Lab, our Milpa Garden mix, and then our summer release blend by Green Cover Seed. When we planted, we had ideal conditions. I think the day before was like our high. It was like 92 degrees. Soil temperatures were about 69, 70 degrees. They'd been at least 68 for a week. Everything looked good. The day that we planted, it was 84 degrees. 3 days after we planted, we had a front come in, the temperatures plummeted. We saw overnight temps for 39 degrees, and we saw daytime highs in the high 50s to low 60s. Unheard of in May, but it happens. Unfortunately, soil temperatures went south for about 7 or 8 days. It took a while, some of it did germinate. That's not good. You get stunted plants and it's just not good at all. But we had some really good things happen with the planting. We're gonna take a look at it today. We're gonna go back on the back side of the place and look at it right now. Hey, good morning. We're in the Lab field right now. We're checking it out and it's good and bad. It's bad because it's not developed as well as it should be. It's good because there is a lot of germination. And right now I'm standing in particular the rye field that I went through, the cereal rye that I went through and sprayed and killed, and it's coming up really good. But if you look at it, you can see pests are really after it, and there's reason for that, and I'll get into that here in just a second. Come down through here and you can see their leaves are eaten up pretty good right here. I just want to insert here that the reason that you're seeing the leaves chewed up, you obviously have pests in there, insects in there that are eating it up. But the main reason is that the low soil temperatures make the plant stunted and it just can't grow to outgrow that point. These plants should be a lot bigger than they are now. When a plant is stunted like this, it just doesn't give it the ability to outcompete all the things that it's up against. So when it faces disease, when it faces bugs, it just can't overcome it. But the good news is that you see good germination. As you go down through the rows here, you see tight rows, you see plants every few inches. So those that don't survive, other plants will take over. We did seed a little heavy. But overall, the Lab's up. They're all in 2-leaf stage still, so they are in trouble. We have what remains of our alfalfa field here too. I did spray this, but it did not kill the alfalfa. We have some alfalfa and some Lab beans. They're coming up through the thatch that's laid over. These areas where I had the thatch laid over, they're doing better. There's some healthy plants here. They're hit by whatever bug it is, but they're healthy. And again, that's caused really from low soil temperatures. Overall, I'm really pleased with the kill that we got. But as you come back down through here, start to see more consistent beans coming up that survive. Of course, they're in the middle of the field. Deer haven't found them yet. Another week, if we can get some warm weather, continued warm weather, another week, and some of these that just germinated will be off to the races. So overall, I would say I'm a little disappointed with the Lab, but it can't be helped. As I walk through here, I can see if I walk another 100 yards down through this, it's a pretty long field. It's 250 yards long. If I go down through here, I can see, and I'll show you here in a second, but it is starting to germinate through the thatch pretty good. So we'll see what happens. You know, if this was a cash crop, I would come in and I would spray it and kill it and try to kill everything out here, and I would redo it again. That's on the Lab. I'm hoping when we get to the summer release mix that we're looking a little bit better. All right, we're looking at our summer release mix now, and got good germination just falling 3 or 4 of these rows here, and all different types of plants coming up there. There's buckwheat, there's some peas. Again, they're hampered by the the colder weather that we ended up developing. But there's some peas that look really healthy that are coming up. This is looking better than the Lab Lab. It's a little more tolerant to the colder weather. Come down through here, follow this row here. We got good germination. See some more coming up here. There's some sunflowers coming up. There's some buckwheat. If you follow that road right here, you got just that little trench dug right down there. You can see that trench. You see the buckwheat. Not sure what that is. It's looking pretty good through here. I'm seeing continuous rows. That's what you want to see. We need rain now. Moved about 40 yards over here back to the west, and you can just see really good germination of the summer release mix. We've got okra coming up, we've got buckwheat coming up, seeing some soybeans and sunflowers. Looking really good here. I'm gonna go over and look in the Austrian winter peas and see what kind of stand we got drilling through that. All right, we're coming through where we drilled in with the peas. You can see all this dead pea thatch on the ground, but it's looking really good. Seeing some peas come up, seeing some soybeans come up. Again, some of the peas are getting attacked. And this is because of the colder weather, just not growing as fast as it should. But there are some healthy peas through here. Overall, it's a good looking stand other than the mare's tail that's coming up. Trying to pull these up by the roots. Got some buckwheat coming up over here. Everything's coming up that I can see over here on the summer release. It's looking really good. I'm a little disappointed that the Austrian winter peas just did not hold back the weeds as well as the rye did. So I have to deal with it. Next year we'll just have to make it thicker. As I was saying, we were just going to have a thicker base next year to try to eliminate the weeds. So in addition to the Austrian winter peas, I'm going to go ahead and add more rye to it, and I'm going to add more of the I'm going to add hairy vetch, and then in the spring, I may already have some clovers actually though coming up from the fall, but if I don't, in the spring, I'm going to go ahead and add a lot of clovers to that as well. So we can kind of keep the weeds down and help suppress the weeds. You can see here the plants are doing really good. This is all new germination. I'm really surprised that the soybeans are doing as well as they are. They're definitely doing better than the cowpeas. They can handle a little bit cooler temperatures than the cowpeas. The cowpeas, anytime you start seeing them really ridden with holes from all the disease and insects, you can definitely see that you have a problem with low soil temperatures. I just have to add, I'm very, very impressed with the soybeans. We don't grow soybeans down here. We'll have to see how they do, but in the beginning, they're awesome. I would say I'm very pleased with the summer release mix. We'll have to give you guys an update in 2 or 3 weeks and see if it canopied over and if it did pretty well. But as far as germination, got a really good germination, fighting cold temperatures and lack of rain. So hopefully that's behind us now. Soil temperatures are back up. They've been that way for a while, but we're about 72 degrees. So now we're looking at our Milpa Garden seed mix that we planted by Green Cover Seed. And as you remember, we planted about a 2-acre field around our house. And I am really surprised and really impressed that it did as well as it did. It's a little more forgiving when it comes to soil temperatures than the other two. Lab Lab, not forgiving at all. The summer release, somewhat forgiving. The Milpa Garden seed mix seems like it wasn't affected at all. We got great germination. They're all brand new baby plants, and we get a good rain tonight. Hopefully everything will come together. The only thing that I would say is a failure from this is that the corn was not a good idea. Grain drills don't work as good with corn as they do as a planter does. And you just got to remember that. You've been better off doing it by hand probably, but we'll see. Maybe some more will germinate. Some of these are doing really, really well up in here. We're gonna definitely have a lot of squash, some pumpkin, and some watermelons. So overall, I would say that it was a success. The Lab Lab was a disappointment. I think it's still gonna make a little bit of a crop. I've seen these Lab Lab beans stay in the ground for quite a while. We still haven't got a sizable rain since we planted, though there was some moisture in the ground. So I believe that maybe some of it hasn't germinated yet. Maybe it will go ahead and germinate. We're supposed to have a really heavy rain tonight. That's what we believe anyway, so we'll see what happens. Summer release is gonna do okay. We may have some problem with some of the cowpeas. We may not have quite as many as we wanted, and that's a problem for me. The Milpa Garden mix did really good. It's gonna have a massive garden around the house. I can see that happening now. So we got our fingers crossed, praying for rain tonight. It's coming. They say 90% chance. Looks like a big, heavy downpour. That's been missing us, so hopefully it'll come. So I wanted to give you this update here, and we will be going ahead and giving you an update in about a month, after we've got about a month of growth, to kind of see where we're at. Thanks for watching the video today. Make it a great day. Go enjoy the outdoors, and may God bless you.